All right, here we go.
Okay.
How we doing, bud?
Good, man. Good to see you.
Likewise. All right, I'm ready. Hit me.
Okay.
Right off the get-go.
Well, first of all, you took a trip recently. Can we talk about that?
Sure.
Hershey, PA.
Yeah.
I saw that you posted 2 Hershey Kisses, 1 Reese cup.
Dead. So bad.
Is it because you're not used to sugar?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I didn't think in that small sample size was going to do anything, but it nailed me, man.
Knocked you out.
It did.
Did you ride the rides?
Oh, heck yeah.
Took a
Love
tour?
roller coasters. We did the chocolate factory, looked into Milton Hershey, got really fired up about business and, after hearing about these people during the Industrial Revolution and what they went through to be able to establish versus today where business is easy in comparison. Got me all fired up.
Oh, that's awesome. Good. Okay, so actually I just saw a commercial the other day, and it bothered me. This is not what we're going to talk about today.
Okay, all right.
But it bothered me. I'm all about change. I'm all about bettering ourselves, our environments, but I'm also a firm believer, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. There is a new movie coming out called Wonka.
Okay.
I am not happy with it.
No.
There is one Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Okay.
Period. Gene Wilder, right?
Yep.
Unbelievable. Phenomenal character. Johnny Depp tried to repeat it. No good. This one does not look good. You just can't remake a classic like Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory.
Now, who are they placing as Wonka?
I don't even know who the main actor is. I saw the commercial. I
see?
can't even tell you who he is, but I know the Oompa Loompas are different. The characters are different. I want to see those 4 kids because Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, to me, is a great parental guidance format, if you will. It talks about doing right and wrong in life. And if you do wrong, there's consequences. If you eat out of the chocolate river that you were told not to eat from, you're going to fall in and bad things will happen. If you disrespect parents or disrespect... So I think the whole meaning behind the original Willy Wonka was the fact that there are some life lessons there to be learned. Don't mess with it.
Each one of those kids were the embodiment of some kind of vice, right?
Right. And they paid the price.
That's it.
So I don't know what's going to happen. I will not go see that movie. But I want to talk to you today about one of your posts that I saw that intrigued me because I love it. It's about a man who has a few aliases. We're talking Brushy Bill Roberts, William H. Bonney, Henry McCarthy, Bill Antrim, a.k.a. Billy the Kid.
Billy the Kid.
Let's talk about Billy the Kid. I love it. I think the movies that were done with regards to the Estevez brothers. What's the name of the movie?
Young Guns?
Bingo. Young Guns 1, Young Guns 2. I remember going to the theater. I want to say I was a senior in high school watching Young Guns and thinking I was Billy the Kid. I mean, I walked in there thinking, this is awesome. So let's talk about Billy the Kid. First of all, born in, I believe, 1859-ish, died at about 21 years old, supposedly killed by Pat Garrett. First thing I have, first question, do you think Pat Garrett, his good friend, killed him?
I do.
Oh, boy.
I do.
See, I disagree.
Okay.
I
All right,
disagree.
give me your competing theory.
I think the bond of friendship is stronger than the commitment Pat Garrett had to the law. I truly believe in the end, he let him go. I'm not sure if Brushy Bill Roberts, the guy who said he was Billy the Kid, who passed away in, I believe, 1953-ish. I think of my best friend, and I think if I changed sides, could I kill someone that I was that in tune with and that close with? I don't think I can do it. So I think Pat Garrett did not kill Billy the Kid because of their friendship and bond. Why do you think he did?
So I think at the time it was more opportunistic than it is today. And, Pat Garrett was in survival mode where he was outlaw turned law. And it's one of those things where he was playing the role because he had no other choice. He had to survive. And, I think people played both sides of the fences really often in that time.
Okay. So he was trying to further his career.
For sure.
I agree. I think he did want to make a name for himself. I just think to take the life of your friend. So Billy,
it's hard to imagine.
I
that,
know.
though. It really is.
I know. But again, I guess no loyalty with thieves.
Yeah, right. It's exactly. And there's some of those run-ins that you had against, like when after Billy the Kid joined the Tunstals after
Right.
being part of the Murphy group.
Right.
And then still making appearances and talking to them and giving himself up in front of them. I'm thinking that I think was either super hard to do and he was a big man for doing it, or that never happened either. Because I couldn't see myself doing it. If I knew a group was looking to kill me, I wouldn't roll up on him and say, "Hey, I'm leaving the Murphys here." You know.
He was bold.
He was.
I think they say realistically, I mean, no one knows. Let's be honest. That was 100 and some years ago. He supposedly killed 21 people, but they say it was more around 10 or 12. Regardless of the number, I'm fascinated by Billy the Kid with regards to how he lived, but it also makes me fascinated with regards to the bond and friendships.
Yes.
I'm not for gangs. Don't get me
Right.
wrong. You know, the Bloods, the Crips, these other gangs that are, but I do understand the brotherhood of when people come together, whether you're male, female, or mixed. It's a bond, and I think to have a few good pals, because that's what Emilio Estevez played Billy the Kid, and he talked about all you need is a few good pals in this life. And
So now the Young Guns depiction was a little more brash, and it's less believable to me. I don't think he was that much of a outwardly. I think he was more of a shy, reserved dude rather than what they put him in that. The series, the MGM series, I think is more accurate.
Well, that's what I want to talk about. I have not seen that. So that series is a culmination of everything we know put into a
I think it feels more like a documentary than it is a movie.
Okay.
And you know, like having watched and read about it, I think the Young Guns one was more of a dramatized version of it. I don't think it went down like that way as much.
They blew him up into a character that was actually likable.
Yeah, right.
Right?
Yeah,
Kinda
and
like-
honestly, the MGM is more likable
Okay.
because they humanize him. Almost half of his killings didn't feel like he was the aggressor. It more that they just kind of happened because of the situations he was in. So he's actually more human in the MGM one.
What do I have to see that?
I think it's free. You go to Amazon Prime.
Amazon.
And you watch it for
Amazon
free.
Prime.
Yeah,
And it's one season.
I'm on season 2 now.
So there's 2 seasons.
Yeah.
And it's 8, 10 episodes per season.
About 10, and season 2 it picks up right where he joins the Tunstals and he's meeting with the attorneys, and so it really all the big stuff hasn't even happened yet. So the first season is just building the character and letting you in a little bit more on what you didn't even know before.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm going to watch it. Yeah, I love that movie. I actually was able to go to New Mexico years ago, and I went to the Lincoln County Courthouse and saw
Yes.
everything, where it all went down. I did not go to Fort Sumner, I think is where, I think he was killed in Fort Sumner, supposedly, by Pat Garrett, but he was tried and all that jazz in Lincoln County, and I got to see that.
Do you like all
Signs-
that Tombstone, Arizona? Do you like all those westerny
Yes.
early?
I wish sometimes I lived back in the day where I had to jump on a horse. I just think life was, I don't want to say more simple, but less chaotic. You still had the stresses of life. How am I going to feed my family? How am I going to work? How am I going to make money? I have to watch out for this bad guy over here. You still had all of that like we do in modern day society. It was just, to me, more simpler.
Yeah.
I don't know. I always loved, but I'm not a big Western guy. I don't like Westerns necessarily, but I love the Billy the Kid series and another movie. I want to get your thoughts on Doc Holliday.
One of
Tombstone,
my favorites.
One of my, I agree. I couldn't agree more. And then we'll talk about our favorite movies, and then we'll wrap it up. So Tombstone to me is just unbelievable because, again, it talks about Wyatt Earp, the Brotherhood, him, Doc Holliday, his friend, who wasn't a member of his family but was treated just the same. I think Val Kilmer did a great job playing Doc Holliday. I mean, he looked literally sick
Yeah.
in that role. What are your thoughts? And this is the big controversy that everyone has. Did he say, "I'll be your huckleberry," or did he say, "I'll be your hucklebearer"? Now, do you know the difference between
I
the two?
do.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm a believer that it was huckleberry, and it's I'm your guy for the job. I don't believe it was hucklebearer, as in I'm going to be the one carrying your casket. Both have meaning. Both are the same thing. What do you think he said?
That's a tough one because I want to do Huckleberry because it's just a badass
Cooler,
statement.
right. I think he said huckleberry.
All right,
And
I'm
I
with you.
watched it. I rewinded. I watched it back in the day when we had DVDs still going.
Yeah.
You could rewind. I'll be your huckle. No, he says, I'm your huckleberry. Like, I'm your guy.
I want it to be that one.
I agree. So, any other movies?
Well, here's another one.
yeah,
Here's
let me
another
hear.
series, Deadwood. Did you see that one?
No.
Okay, so Wild Bill's another.
Wild Bill Hickok?
Hickok,
Oh,
yeah.
Hickok, yeah.
When we were traveling, we visited Deadwood. It was off one of our trails when we were out west.
Okay.
And so we visited the city of Deadwood, and we went into the saloon that they have completely made up like it was back in the day. So you walk down into where they would play in cards, and it's outfitted just like it was in the day. They even have a table set the way that it was when Wild Bill was shot in the back. And that series, even though they killed Wild Bill off early in the series, and that, most of the people watch that series is for him, but it's a really good one.
Okay. I don't know a lot about Wild Bill. Bad guy? Good guy?
Good guy. Real
Good
good
guy.
Real smart guy. Real good with a gun.
So not an outlaw, not a villain.
No.
Okay.
Just a gun to be respected.
Okay. Billy the Kid, Wild Bill, Doc Holliday, Jesse James.
Ooh.
I saw a thing I told you about that show called Mysteries at the Museum. You'll love it. I'm telling you, the way your mind works, it tells you all the history about anything, the way chocolate's made and how it started.
Yeah.
But there was an episode about Jesse James and how he was an outlaw, but he was he was almost like a Robin Hood. Mm-hmm. And this woman was having her house foreclosed on, so he gave her the money to pay the bank guy, because the bank guy was coming to foreclose on her house. She was a single mother. Her father or her husband was killed somehow. Anyway, just imagine, single mother, 4 or 5 kids, house is being foreclosed on. Jesse James heard about it, went to her house, gave her the cash. He said, when the bank guy comes, you pay him this cash to keep your house, and then you get a receipt. Get a receipt. She says, okay. So bank guy comes, leaves. She looks out the window. He's walking through the woods to go home. Jesse James is robbing the guy at gunpoint, takes his own money back, and leaves. But she had
A receipt.
correct. So he got his money back by being bad, but he did the right thing by helping her pay off her house.
See, my theory is this: I think those guys were bad. And just like the mafia, they knew the best way to keep doing bad things is to get the people on your side. So the strategy was to do good to some people so that they would support you when it came to hanging time.
Makes sense. Right. Yeah, he didn't harm me. He didn't do anything wrong. And again, why would you hurt someone who doesn't really affect your business or what you're trying to do, whether it's smuggling drugs or making moonshine? So I agree with that. They were of the people.
That's right.
Like Robin Hood.
Yeah. And I don't think today's movies do more of that sort of like moral leveraging or get you to think about things like that. I think they're just so like bright sparkles and loud explosions, and you don't get messaging in there like those
They're not
older
deep.
movies did. Yeah.
All right, my favorite movie, deep movie. It is my all-time favorite.
Okay.
Shawshank Redemption.
Yes. It's a good one.
Andy Dufresne, Red, the characters. Again, it goes to that bond of friendship and what you would do for a friend. What's your, if you had to pick one, top movie?
Well, I think I have 2 of them.
Okay.
So
You can have 3. I'm going to give you, let's go, I don't want to say serious, but Shawshank Redemption is powerful.
Yes.
Then you have humor. Then you have horror movies.
Yes.
I mean, you have action. You have all kinds. But go ahead. Let me hear
All right,
it.
so Matrix is number 1 because
Okay.
I contemplate the simulation.
I can
Anyway.
imagine you watching that and how
Yes.
your mind works.
Yeah, I spend way too much time seriously considering the Matrix.
Okay.
And then I like time traveling movies. So I'm thinking the title, but my third one is Astronaut Farmer. I don't know if you've seen that one. Billy Bob Thornton.
Okay.
It's a dude that's a little eccentric. He builds a rocket ship in his barn. Feds try to shut him down, and he blasts off. It's a really good like family togetherness, beating the big odds. It was a real like pump you up type of movie. And so the time traveling one, I forget what it was called.
Back to the Future.
No, I'm not going to go.
Well, that's time traveling. There's a DeLorean
Going
involved.
to 88, baby.
What
about you?
Did you watch Quantum Leap?
I used to watch.
Remember
Quantum
that?
Leap.
I'm
That
talking
was-
old school Quantum Leap.
yeah,
Yeah,
Ziggy and-
yeah, right. So that was time travel. That was
Yeah.
kind of cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so Shawshank Redemption is my favorite movie. My favorite comedy of all time. It will never be surpassed. I want to say it's the original Chevy Chase Family Vacation. National Lampoon's Family Vacation, when they go to Wally World,
Wally World
is by far, to me, one of the funniest movies ever.
I agree with you.
Christmas Vacation is great, don't get me wrong. Even Vegas Vacation, as corny as it was good. But to me, the all-time greatest, I'm going to say it's Wally World.
Wally World it is.
As far as scary movies, horror movies, well, do you have a comedy that you like? Is there anything specific?
Idiocracy is pretty
Okay.
good about challenging the brain about, what's going to happen 400 years in the future when we're all too stupid to solve simple problems.
Okay.
Pretty likely to be there.
Here we are. So comedy, drama, I guess we'll put Shawshank into the drama. Action adventure, I mean, I actually liked the Lethal Weapons back in the day, the first couple. They were kind of neat. Again, you had that relationship with Murdoch, and Murdoch was,
I can't
yeah,
remember.
the actor's name. Mel Gibson was Gibbs and Murdoch? I forget.
Okay.
Anyway, that's a good one. The John Wicks are pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, Keanu Reeves, some people love him, some people don't like him. I think he does good, in that role. Scary movies. I am a fan of the classics, the original Halloween, the original Friday the 13th. And the original Friday the 13th, now you know this, as I would think, the killer was who?
Who? I don't know.
Jason's mother.
Really?
Jason Voorhees was not the killer in the original Friday the 13th. It was
I've
his...
watched 0 of those
Oh,
movies.
okay, yeah. Well, they're mindless shows.
Okay.
They're mindless movies. There's blood, guts, and gore. But the first one was good because it wasn't just killing left and right. Then they got into everyone's getting their heads chopped off. And
Right.
But in the original one, everyone thought Jason Voorhees was the killer, and it was his mother killing on his behalf, and then he eventually took over.
Now, I don't like blood guts type
Right.
of movies, but I watched all of the Saw series.
Oh!
They are amazing.
Well, that's because you like the way his mind works.
Yes.
There's a million of them. They're always on. I watch TV at night, and boom, Saw 3, Saw 4,
Yep.
Saw 12, Saw 19, Saw 20. Those are interesting. Those are psychological. I don't know what I would do if I were trapped in some of those situations.
Well, half of these. Okay, so these movies that we put out there, the westerns. Let's put ourselves in those situations.
Okay.
If you're back in those times and you're an outlaw, right, and you're trying to survive, like, do you think you'd do well in that time?
I do. And I don't know if I'd be a good guy or a bad guy. Let's be honest.
I'd be a bad guy.
Outlaws have fun. I think I'd probably be an outlaw. I don't think I would kill. I'd be that outlaw who was liked by the people.
Yep.
But I think I would survive. Here's why. Because I would surround myself with people I knew had my back.
Yeah.
But again, Billy the Kid thought Pat Garrett had his back, and supposedly he was killed by him. So I think I would survive in a Western format. In a horror movie, I'd be killed.
You'd be a dead guy.
I'm running like a baby out of there. I'm tripping in the woods. I'm falling over. I'm scared shitless. So, yeah, I would probably not
All right, what about
survive.
an apocalyptic movie where the world's ending, zombies are everywhere?
I'm trying to be that person who's a leader. I definitely
Okay.
would take the leadership role because when it comes to that, when my life or my kid's life is at stake, I'm not going to let someone else handle it. I'm going to put that situation into my own hands. So I would be the one driving around, finding the food, doing whatever I had to do to survive. So I think I'd
when
do
you get
okay
deep
there.
into those apocalypse versions, it's when you have to when you run across a developed citizenry is where all the shit goes down. Like it always gets bad because you're always going up against the guy who put a civilization of plunders and pillages, right?
Right.
And so when you're trying to go to the grocery store to pull out some canned food to survive, you got that guy with his machete there. Like now it's fight time.
Right. There's like 8 cans here.
Yeah.
Choose wisely. Did you watch The Walking Dead?
I did.
Yeah, that was interesting. To me,
Yeah.
that's apocalyptic. That's kind of
Yeah.
like the world's going to end and this and that. I watched maybe the first season, and then... Now, we talked about Lost before. Did we talk about that? Because, again, you did like that or you did not like... You didn't like the ending.
I
Or
didn't
you
like the ending.
Yeah.
They ruined that one
Right.
for me.
I never made it through. I watched the most of it. I said, I'm done. I can't.
Yeah.
My brain can't go
You're
there
lucky.
anymore.
Those are wasted hours
Okay.
that you got back that I did not.
How about let's close with mob movies?
Okay.
You enjoy them? Goodfellas, Godfathers?
Okay. I think I like the Sopranos series
Okay.
is probably your best because you got to know the characters. I think the mob was just so bad. I couldn't connect with any of those characters. None of them were likable enough or you could root for them enough.
Right.
So
Yeah, there weren't too many good guys, if
Yeah.
you will, with regards to... but I'm sure there were. I'm sure there were mob guys who did work for the people and make sure they were
But you
taken
notice
care
that
of.
theme?
But they don't show
Like,
that as much.
The
in-
westerns, the mob, all of that, it's the same thing where, you had bad people that had a little bit of hero in them and the heroes that had a little bit of everything's corrupt and everybody's trying to win, right?
Yeah, no matter what genre.
Yeah, right.
All right, so we agree to disagree. Billy the Kid was not shot by Pat Garrett, and Joe says he was.
That's it.
That's it.
Till next time, bud.